Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome back to the Pageant Sit Down. It is episode 81. Time is flying by, and we are super excited for all of you to be with us today. My name is Regina Lena, and I am your host, and I am joined, of course, with my co-host, Elizabeth.
Hi,
Liz.
everyone. How are Jean? How are you doing today?
I'm good. I feel like we haven't seen each other in so long, even though we just saw each other a week ago.
I know. It's weird how that works, isn't it?
It is. Well, I'm really excited for our guest today, and I know you are too. I know you've been following her for a while,
Yep.
and this is my first time meeting her. Actually, Liz, because you've been following her for so long, do you want to introduce our guest?
Absolutely. Everyone, please welcome the current International United Ms. 2021 to 2022, Brandi Jo Middleton. Welcome, Brandi Jo. How are you?
I'm great. Thank y'all so much for the honor of being on here. And y'all just are both so beautiful. So nice to be here.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you.
Thank you.
Yes, I love, first off, your crown is stunning.
Yes.
I just had to put it out there.
Thank you. I love it. I don't want to ever take it off. I will, never take it off. It's one of my favorite crowns ever. And that's what we're known for. And our state crowns too are just as beautiful as the international and national crowns that we have.
I love it. Well, Brandi Jo, this is my first time meeting you, and I'm sure there's a lot of our viewers who are familiar or maybe not so familiar with you. Do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a wife and I'm a mom. I'm a homeschool mom. We have one little boy. He just turned 9. I love everything Disney. I am a licensed esthetician and licensed cosmetologist, and I am apprenticing and learning pageant hair and makeup. That's on my dream board to do next. I am a former pageant director, MC, a judge, a pageant coach, interview coach. I was on Toddlers and Tiaras twice. Came from the glitz world. I grew up in pageants. I started when I was age 4 years old all the way up until 18, and then stopped and got back into them when I was 30, and I'm in my 40s now. So I love pageantry. I love everything about it. And my platform is called Crowning Confidence. I started it back in 2016 when I was going through several different health scares. I had 3 different eating disorders. My last one was binge eating, and that's kind of how I developed a platform. It was outside of pageantry when I started it, and it just kind of blossomed when I got back in. And now I've been able to teach that all over the world. And I won my title last July. I love every moment of it. The International United Miss is the best pageant system out there, hands down. And I'm just had the time of my life, and it's really sad because it's coming to an end, and I'm just not looking forward to ever taking the crown off. But my sister queens and I are not, but it's just been the best year of my life so far.
Oh my goodness. That is, yes, Liz took it right out of my mouth. That's amazing. And listening to you talk and tell us who you are, I feel like you are the perfect mix of Elizabeth and I. I love Disney, so you stole my heart when you said that. Liz is also doing hair and makeup as well. I see your hair right now, and I'm like, yes, you are definitely in the right field.
I actually practiced with a drag queen helped me. I went to go see him. He does pageants, so he helped me do this. But since you love Disney, this is part of our prize package too. So look, I have custom made title. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Oh. This is one of the gifts that we got, and we get to go to Disney World. So I was like, this is my favorite pair of Disney ears ever.
Oh my gosh, sign me up.
There's too many good things already. Oh my gosh. Well, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that you wore many hats in pageantry, doing various things. So with all your experience, what was it about IUM that really drew you to the pageant system?
Well, actually, I had last year, I was scammed out of a lot of money. I signed up for another system, and then they didn't have the pageant, and there was 3 of us who were just out of money. And I just was like, what do I do from this point? And Brandi, the former reigning International United Miss, had just posted all of her wardrobe, and I was just like, oh, I love her clothes. And I was like, I don't know what pageant this is, but let me just reach out to her. And I said, hey, I want to buy your fun fashion, and tell me about the pageant that you just won. I've never heard of it before. And she told me about it, and I was like, oh, wow, that sounds like everything I've been looking for. I told her about I've had a couple bad experiences in the married division pageants. And she's like, no, you really need to do this. And so I reached out to Holly, and that was last August. That was back in 2020, I think. Yeah, 2020, and fell in love. I was like, this is amazing. And just, I loved everything about it. And I got my state title because we didn't have a Tennessee state pageant here. And so I got appointed my title, and I worked all year long to prepare for internationals. And I went into there thinking, okay, I'm going to have the time of my life. It's going to, whatever happens. And I was hoping just to make the top 10. Did not expect to win. And it's just been an amazing experience. And I just love the sisterhood. We're founded on Sisters by Sash, when we truly are sisters, and also be heroic. But Holly and Chrisanne wanted to develop a pageant system. This is our 6th year, and they wanted to develop a pageant system because Holly has a beautiful daughter who competed all her life, and Chrisanne competed all her life. And they took the good and the bad, and they wanted to make the best. And they wanted to develop girls and women into being the better versions of themselves. That aligns with my platform. And so that's what IUM is all about. And girls come back year after year. All of us queens are like, do not want to give up our titles. So that tells you a lot about the organization.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that.
It just always seems like such a family-friendly, fun environment, and there's always so much going on. Kind of speaking of so much going on, you mentioned one of your prizes. Could you give us a little debrief on the prize package? I guess that's huge, but maybe dive into the travel opportunities you guys have.
Yeah. So when you win, we have international and the national titles. So all of us get to go on 5 trips. And the first one is Disney World. Never been. So I got to go to Disney World the first time with my sister queens. They put us up in a huge house, and it's just fabulous. It's a lot of bonding. So we went to Disney World. The second trip was Washington, D.C. Never went to Washington, D.C. either. We had to stay in a huge house together and tour Washington, D.C. and have a huge Christmas party. And when I tell you it was better than Santa Claus coming. We have custom luggage. We have a huge custom picture made of us. They autograph cards, crown cases. It's insane what they give us. And then the third trip was to Jamaica, all inclusive, all paid trip to Jamaica, airfare, everything's included. Didn't have to pay a thing. That was so much fun. That was a week-long trip to Jamaica, and alumni get to come back. So next year I get to come as well as alumni. And then our 4th trip is going to be to Dollywood, and that's the end of May. And then we have a surprise 5th trip that will be in June. And then we get treated like royalty the whole week of internationals in July, and they're paying for our hotel room as well. And that's just a little bit. Surprise things that they did for us this year. We got to go to Miss USA together, Miss America together, Universal Studios, on top of $2,000 prize cash, on top of a whole list of things that they give us all throughout the year. It's the most amazing prize package, hands down. And they send you gifts on your birthday and Halloween and all just fun little surprises that they give us.
Okay, so why have I not joined yet?
I told you, Regine. I wasn't keeping it a secret.
On top of, they're so transparent that every week, starting in December, Chrisanne, the co-director, does a Facebook Live in the delegate group, and she literally tells you what to do, how to prepare, because she wants everybody to feel prepared. And that was the most prepared I ever felt in my entire life going into a pageant, because I listened to everything that she said, and I did everything that she said, and it turned out fabulous. So yes, so it's just amazing. It's an amazing system, and everybody is family, and they treat everybody that comes in the organization, not just royalty, every contestant like gold, and they want everybody to get better. And the best thing is, as soon as crowning's over with, you get your handwritten scores from the judges, and if they mark you off, they have to tell you why. So if it's your dress is too short, or maybe it wasn't the right color, they have to tell you why they deducted points, so you can get better in your pageant career.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So you mentioned earlier that you were on Toddlers and Tiaras. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yes. So back when I got back competing in the Mary division back in 2008, between 2009 and 10, I was coaching a lot of little girls in the glitz world. And one of my favorite little glitz girls, her name's Lauren Stubbs. She's actually in college now. I feel really old. She's in college now, but she was 7 at the time. And very, very, very talented little girl, like just a quick, fast learner in modeling. She was very into theater and singing. And one of the pageants I was coaching her with, she had talent, and she was singing Wizard of Oz, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. She was Dorothy. And I said, you know what? I'm really extra and bougie, and I have a Glinda the Good Witch outfit, and I'm going to dress up and be part of your talent. I think the judges are going to love it. And of course, she won. And that director referred us to Toddlers in Tears. Like, she turned our name in, and they contacted us, and they said they need us to submit a video. And so a video audition. And so I went to her house on Thanksgiving. We reenacted the whole Glinda the Good Witch and me coaching her, and they loved us. And we got to go. It was in 2009. It was called America's Best Pageant in Arkansas, and they followed us around. It was a wonderful experience. You don't know how it's going to get edited, so they did not make me look the best, meaning I had like 9 other women I competed against, but they took all that out and made it look like I was competing against kids. But it was a really, really fun experience. We did get a little bit of hate after, but that comes with the territory. And then another one of my students a year later was asked to be featured on Toddlers in Tears. And I said, look, I don't want to go through all that again. I will come make a cameo for you. And I did a little cameo appearance for her, but it was a lot of fun. I did get I forgot, I think her name's Danielle. It was on the Dish at the time, on E or whatever it's called, the Dish. And she made fun of me a little bit. I'm like, I feel like there's my 15 minutes of fame if that girl is making fun of me. So it was just, it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. And it's something that has bonded us for life, me and Lauren and her mom. So it was a lot of fun.
I mean, that means you made an impact too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that show in itself is like bred to make problematic things and for people to talk, right?
And some of it's true and some of it's not. But they do.
Yeah, exactly.
They're really good about, now when I watch reality shows, I'm like, did that really happen? I'm a huge fan of Joe Millionaire, like huge. Like there is a former Miss Georgia that was one of the, I don't know if you watched it. She was like, I call it first runner up pretty much. Love her. And like, I reached out to her and she commented, like, she responded back to me. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm fangirling here. But like now when I watch reality shows, I'm like, did that really happen? Or did they edit it that way? Or did they make them say something like that? So now it has a total spin when I watch reality shows like The Bachelor and Joe Millionaire.
I mean, I love reality junkie TV, so don't ruin it for me.
I can ask another. I have a question from social media that we can ask. So Myrtle Beach is coming up. What are you most excited about?
Well, I'm gonna cry the whole week. I'm just gonna prepare everybody. I'm gonna be crying when you see me. It's not that I'm like sad. Well, yeah, I'm sad because I'm going to give up my title. But I'm really excited about just the whole coming back as royalty. I've never had that experience. So I grew up in glitz pageants, and that we call them weekend warriors, where you're like every weekend you're going to a pageant and you win a crown and banner and you don't really do much with it. It's like all the different levels and glitz world and stuff. But this title means so much to me, and I will treasure this the rest of my life. And to get to go back and be treated like that, because the other married pageant I did was Mrs. International in 2019, totally different system. I won my state title. That was huge for me. To win my Tennessee state title, it was a big competition, but COVID happened right when it was time to give up my title. So we didn't have a state pageant. So I didn't get to experience to be the reigning queen and come in and to mentor. Didn't get to experience that. So now I'm going to get to have that opportunity. And I'm really excited about that, to share this whole transition and bond that I've had with my sister queens and us to be together the last week together.
That's awesome. So what is something that you are most proud of accomplishing with your title?
Oh my gosh, there's so much fun things this year. I think the biggest thing that I'm most proud of is just the bonding that I do homeschool, and my son just turned in his paper to me. So that's real life, y'all. So thank you, Randall. I'm most proud of just being able to show up. I've showed up every day, and it's yeah, there he is. Okay, hi. I've been able to show up every day and really be the ambassador that Chrisanne has wanted us to become. I'm proud of that, but I'm more proud of just the bonds that I have created with my sister queens. And it happened instantly, and it's something, okay, that's enough. Thank you. It happened instantly, day one we got crowned. And I've always wanted to know what that felt like, and that sisterhood and that family. And that's what I'm so proud of. And just the love that we have. There is no cattiness. There's no drama. It's truly, truly family. If you want a toy later, you have to stop. We bribe around here. That's what I'm really most proud of for me.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
You can really
Well,
tell that this is, sorry. Oh, you can really tell that the system like really promotes the sisterhood, especially within the girls, and allows you guys a lot of opportunities, obviously, to be together, which is really nice.
mhm.
I was gonna ask, as you're the oldest sister out of the bunch, how do you are you a role model to the other girls, and do you guys talk a lot, and how do you guys kind of communicate with the relationship
Yes,
between you guys?
we do talk a lot. I do feel like that, but you know what? I feel like they've taught me so much too. So, and I love the moms because I'm you know, like, I mean, I am proud of my age, but you know, I'm closer to the mom's age too, and so it's a double. I have double friends. I have the moms, this you know, queens moms and the queens, and so yes, I do feel like there have been times I've been able to step in, especially one of my sister queens, Alex, and just give her life advice and boy advice, and just the little ones, because the little ones are around my son's age, and just teaching them things from a mother's point. So when we are around each other, the mom and me comes out, and I'm like watching them and just making sure they're all good, and just like, you know, are they eating, are they sleeping, like that kind of thing. But yeah, it's just such an amazing bonding, and they have taught me so much and loved on me, and like I've gotten a lot of hate the last 2 weeks, and they have been there for me through that, and just we all help each other. So I feel like we're all good role models for each other.
Oh. Well, I'm curious to know, you mentioned your son and he's made a cameo. How do you balance being a mom, a wife, and a beauty queen?
Well, it's sometimes hard, but it's fun, and it's anything in life, is what you make it. This is a priority for me. This is a huge deal, and it's top priority. My son is top priority, my family, and and it's all bunched together. The great thing about what I do is he can come with me to a lot of places, but I have amazing in-laws who, you know, the moment I didn't think I was going to win, and that night when I won, I was like, I'm texting my husband. I'm like, because my husband and son weren't there. I'm like, okay, I need you to talk to your mom, because I'm going to need her to watch like him. And they, you know, it worked out. God has great timing, because they had just retired my in-laws, and so they're like, we'll keep him anytime you want to. And so they have been such a blessing. They keep him when I travel. And then he's able to come with me when I'm doing my platform work, when I'm making appearances. He has come with me. He's been a great helper. He's great at taking pictures, and you know, he's grown up around this, so he understands it. And my husband is a huge supporter. He wants me to go out there and pursue my dreams, and he's always been my biggest cheerleader.
I love that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Honestly, it seems like it's always a big responsibility being a title holder of any level. And the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And so it seems like you're really experiencing the whole experience, which is very good. I was going to ask you, we've talked a lot about pageantry. Is there anything outside of pageantry that you like to do and take up time, or hobbies?
Yeah, so I was a licensed esthetician for 13 years. And that was like my whole career. I loved it. And then my son came along, and then we had to make a tough decision, and I quit my job. But Unique, which is a direct sales company, that fell in my lap back in 2013. And I've been with the company for almost 9 years. Love it. So I lead a team of ladies and men every day, and I work from home. I sell makeup online. I love it. I'm working on converting a sunroom now into a hair and makeup studio, coaching little area. So that's on my bucket list. I'm doing that now, where I'll be able to still sell makeup from home, but actually, since COVID, I feel like COVID's gone now, so actually work on people. So that I'm really excited about that. So I love anything beauty related. I've always loved hair and makeup. I love dressing up. I have all these princess costumes up here. I have so many goals. I want to become a birthday princess for kids. There's a lot of things that I love to do. I don't feel like my age. I still feel like a little girl at heart. And then just pageantry. That's everything. I love homeschooling just because it works around our busy schedule, and beauty and fashion and all the fun stuff.
That's exciting. Earlier you mentioned, you know, you're going through some hate right now. How do you, I guess, keep your head up when things get tough?
Yeah, I mean, it is tough, and I'm thank goodness that I now know what true confidence means. I've been when it comes in waves, and it's been coming in waves, especially the last 2 weeks. And when somebody tries to like slander your name or slander your reputation, and you don't know them, you're like, where is this coming from? I look at it from a different set of eyes. So I look at it through kindness now. It does get hurt being bullied. It does. And you have to sit back and like, why would she say that about me? Or why? But then I look at it from their perspective. They're hurting. Something's going on in their life. They don't feel good about themselves. So the other day I made a cute little TikTok saying I didn't want to take my crown off. And so some random girl said, aren't you too old to be in pageants? And I said, well, actually, there are more married women pageants now than ever. And so many older women compete now. And I said, but you know what? I feel like you're having a bad day, and I'm going to pray for you and just let you know that you're beautiful. It's like how you respond back to it. Because I think a lot of times people are just looking for show kindness, and it's hard. Believe me, I know who one of those is. It got brought to my attention today. I mean, it's somebody that I used to compete with, and she made a fake profile. And now every time I make a makeup post, she wants to say something negative. And her daughter came to me and said, hey, I just want to let you know that was my mother, and I'm so sorry. And, I was like, I see where it's coming from because we used to compete together, but I know she's hurting. There's something going on in her life. So my biggest advice to anybody that is getting online bullying or hate, yes, it does hurt, but you got to know who you are. You got to know your worth, and that their words, even though they're words, they truly don't matter, because at the end of the day, it's what you feel about yourself. How do you feel? What does God say about you? And that's what matters. And if you know that hurt people will hurt people, it takes a different approach at it. And then when I go into schools and I do get to mentor to little girls and little boys, that's what I tell them. If somebody's bullying to you, they really need a friend. If you will show them kindness, usually that shuts it down. But of course, always tell an adult. But I found that, and even with my son, anytime that he's had issues, if we share kindness with others, that usually stops it, because people don't know how to respond to that. They think you're going to be mean and you're being nice, and they're like, wow,
Exactly. Kill them with kindness. Well, you've been giving us some amazing tips, and there's actually a segment on our show. I can't believe we're already at the halfway point. But Brandi Jo, there's a segment on our show which is 5 tips from a beauty queen, and you live and breathing pageantry for all these years. What tips do you have for those who are watching us today?
Well, the biggest tip is try not to compare yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but I have been in so many pageants, and I can tell you it's usually the ones that you're not even like, it's the silent ones that will sneak up and get you. So you can see somebody online, but you can't be like, oh my gosh, they're prettier, they're skinnier. What you have to just show up and control what you can. You just be the best version of yourself. You're not always going to be so I was taught this a long time ago, and I'll teach everybody this. Sometimes you can be the sweetest, ripest peach out there ever, but that day, those judges want an apple. And it's nothing that you did wrong. It's just, that's not what they wanted that day, but it has nothing against you. You are amazing. And so you can't let that stalk you and that comparison, because at the end of the day, you don't know what a judge is going to do. I have judged so many pageants this year, and I'm like, where's my winner? But 2 other judges have picked somebody else, and it can throw out your scores, and scores come down so close, and really what's meant to be is going to happen. Number 2 is to always be prepared. Know the system that you're going to compete in. Like, do your homework, know about them, know what they're looking for, talk to a former queen or the director. I think so many people get so scared to reach out to the director or the queens, and don't be afraid to do that. 3 is always have a backup, meaning when you get to a pageant, have a backup dress. I couldn't tell you how many times I have seen girls' wardrobe malfunctions and they don't have a dress to fall back on. So every time that I go to a pageant, I always have 2 dresses with me. Again, you never know if somebody's going to show up in your dress. It happens, especially with so many dress shops out there. But second, if something happens, you have peace of mind. So that's the 3rd tip. 4th is take care of your feet. I see so many girls walk around with these super tall shoes on all week long at the big long pageants, and you don't have to do that. Like, keep flats with you in your little bag, and put your competition shoes on when you get on stage. Like, don't be walking around through a hotel with the tall shoes, because your feet will hurt you. And then 5th is know your worth, know who you are, know about your values, because that, if you know who you are and what you stand for, it's going to be easier to answer the hard political questions that you sometimes can get on stage. Now, we don't do that at International United Miss, but at other systems, if they have, hard on stage questions, if you know who you are and your worth, you're going to be able to answer those questions, because you're not really going to know what they're going to ask you. And so that way you can think on your feet quickly.
Awesome. Those are 5 amazing tips.
Mm-hmm. Really good information there, guys. It's international title holder, so you better listen up, take some notes.
Oh, I was mentally prepared,
Yes.
taking down notes.
I wanted to kind of jump into a little bit more about International United Miss, if you don't mind.
Yes,
I know, yeah, I know that the pageant week is so much fun. I wanted to talk about some of the parties that take place during the week. Can you tell me what your favorite party is, and maybe tell the viewers about what other parties exist at IUM?
Yeah, all of it. So let me tell. Hey, can you turn your iPad down? He went and got his iPad. So I didn't hear did you ask me what parties, or did you ask me about what
Yes,
the parties at International United Miss?
Yeah, and like maybe which one's your favorite?
Okay, so every year they change the parties.
Yes.
So thankfully, last year, we had a Disney party. Of course, that was my favorite. I was Alice in Wonderland. I have every Disney costume you can think. I was like, what costume I'm going to wear? I was Alice in Wonderland. Loved it. There was Tweedledee, Tweedledum there. It was so much fun. When I tell you they go all out at their parties, they go all out at the parties. So this year, we always have World Fair. So what World Fair is, that's our kickoff party. And that's where you represent whatever your favorite country is. And the royalty will be we set up booths, and we're going to be representing countries. So we all drew names. I get to be England, and I'm so excited because my last name's Middleton, and I swear I'm related to her some way or another. I just Middleton one day. But all the contestants get to stop at our booth, and we hand out prizes. It's like trick-or-treating. It's so much fun. And there's dancing, and there's great food. All the dinner parties are themed around the actual party that day. Now this year we're going to have game day. So it's a game day where we're going to have different games like what you see on TV, like Price is Right, like all the fun stuff. So that I don't know what that's going to be kind of surprised how they're setting that up for us this year. And then we're going to have a PJ. We have a PJ party every year. PJ party is awesome. A lot of dancing. We have a mom's pageant that night where the moms will come up, and it's so much fun. But it's such a great bonding experience for all the contestants. And the dinner is amazing, but they go all out at International United Miss.
Oh my gosh, sign me up.
You're convincing Regine by the second. Also, to kind of talk about the week, you guys have some very cool categories of competition, including the intro competition. Which one was your favorite when you were preparing for IUM?
So growing up in the glitz world, we didn't have interview. I mean, interview was like you walk in and they judge you on your facial beauty. So when I got back in pageants, I was like, oh, I got to learn how to do interview. I will say, I'm trying to think. Interview was one of them because I really got to know the judges really well. But my favorite's fun fashion. That's the glitz girl in me. I love fun fashion. I love to see everybody's creativity and their outfits and how they model. But our categories it's so easy at International. You don't even turn paperwork. You don't have to worry and stress out about resume paperwork, anything like that. You do a 45-second intro on stage. They just literally write notes from your intro, and that's what they ask you in interview. So you have a 3-minute round robin style interview with 5 judges, a lot of fun. And then you have evening gown and fun fashion, or they call it half fashion. The great thing about what Holly and Chrisanne's done is for the week, they spread it out. So every day you only have to focus on that one event. So the first day is orientation on Sunday. Monday is like optionals, and optionals are super cool. They don't count towards the title, but they're just fun to do. Tuesday's evening gown, so that's all you have to focus on all day. Wednesday's half fashion, that's all you have to focus on. Thursday's intro and interview, that's all you have to focus on. And there's not long practices. So it's like at the most a 30-minute practice and you're done. So there's so much fun and downtime that you get to really bond with all the delegates.
Oh, wow. So what are the type of optionals are there?
There's a lot of fun optionals. There's talent, spokesmodel, casual wear, top model, where you get to go and stand in front of a camera and pose and you get pictures. So that's really fun. They have photogenic. They have a lot of free optionals too, like academic, community service, a lot of fun stuff. So if you want to check out more, we have an amazing website. It's internationalunitedmiss.com. Or you can also email Holly and Chrisanne at info@internationalunitedmiss.com too.
Perfect. You got the next question right out of our mouths.
She was ready.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you also, from social media here, what has been your favorite appearance that you've done so far as an international title holder?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. It was always on my bucket list to go to Miss USA, and that was a surprise. That was a surprise package prize for us to get to go to Miss USA and watch it with my sister queens and my directors. That was amazing. And I also got to get my photos made with Grant Photo, and he's the head honcho of the Miss USA photography. And I can't put into words what that experience was like. And we stayed up all night with our directors in their hotel room, just talking and having so much fun. But to see the girls compete instead of seeing them on TV, it was just amazing. I don't know how the judges picked. They were all fabulous.
They were. Liz and I, we usually end up FaceTiming each other while we watch Miss USA online. So I don't know how judges do it either.
What a dream
I'm glad
to be
I'm
there,
not
though.
a judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it'd be so cool. You feel the energy of the crowd, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So I'm curious, because I know Liz has a lot of questions from Instagram, but I'm still hooked on this Disney thing, by the way. So who is your favorite Disney princess?
Well, I love Snow White. Snow White's my favorite because all the animals love her, and I love animals. I love animals. Every type of animal you can think, and she's my favorite. But I mean, all of them are. I mean, I love Alice in Wonderland. I love Snow White. She's so precious to me, and I do have her costume, and I was her for Halloween, and I was, the Wicked, or not the what is I will have Maleficent. So, but I love Maleficent too. She's not really the villain anymore if you watch the movie. So,
No. She's kind of like her own queen if you think about it.
She is her own queen. Yeah, she's got some. I like her. She's got a lot of sass to her.
Mm-hmm. She just stands up for what she loves and what she believes in. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We have another one here. What is the difference between being a state title holder compared to an international title holder?
It's what you put into it. As a state title holder, I hit the ground running, and I do that at every pageant I compete in. I put my heart and soul into it because that's who I am. And being a former pageant director, I expect that. If it was a queen, I would expect that from somebody too. But there's not much difference. You're treated amazing. Of course, the prize package is different, and don't get to go on all the 5 trips at state level. But the girls at state, when they do have a state pageant, they come back and they get to experience the giving away their titles and the treating like royalty. And they go Holly and Christian go all out at these state pageants. And I have been out. My goal was to go to every one of them this year. And I sadly had to miss 3. 2 of them was because of COVID. And one of them because it fell on Halloween. And my family and I are real bougie, and we go all out for Halloween and we dress up as a family. So it's like, I have to sit that one out. But they go all out. So if you can attend a state pageant, please attend one of the state pageants, because it's like a little version of a little taste of what it's like at International United Miss National Competition.
Mm-hmm. And the international competition is now in Myrtle Beach, correct, this year?
Right.
So it will be new location?
So this was our first year in Myrtle Beach. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It used to be in New Jersey. I actually drove from Tennessee to New Jersey because I did not want to take all my competition clothes on an airplane. So I drove by myself. But I had, New Jersey New Jersey's got my heart now, just because of what happened to me in New Jersey. But yeah, so we outgrew it. We have grown so big and so fast that the venue didn't hold us anymore. So that's why they moved to Myrtle Beach, because it's a bigger venue for us now.
Oh wow! So how many people are usually competing for the week?
I want to say last year there was probably like 150, and I think now we're up to 200.
Wow.
And we still have till May 1st to sign up. And so I'm still needing some more ladies in my division, because my division is not super big. So ladies, anybody 25 and up, single, married, mom, divorced, widow, whatever, you can come and compete in my division. We have a lot of state titles appointed left for you.
Wow. Ooh. You heard it here first. Go sign up. We need more Canada girls. Our team Canada is 2 amazing people, but it'd be really cool to see that grow. And Absolutely. I was a Canada State title holder for 2 years during the pandemic, and I had a really great time without even attending the pageant. So I'm sure you can hear all the great things today and see if you want to join yourself. Definitely, like Brandi Jo mentioned, check out the website if you're interested.
I mean, this is why Liz and I were talking off air, and we're like, what's next for us, Liz?
We're always scheming.
Yes.
I will say this. The other thing that I love about International United Miss, and I'm comparing it to the other pageant I was in, the big one, another system. That system was based on, half of it was your platform. It was fitness. It was like I worked out intense, hard. And then there was prelim, and then you had to recompete at final. None of that. There is no recompeting here. Like that's a great pressure. There is no recompeting at final, which is great because sometimes your scores can get messed up at finals. They don't care what size you are. There is no swimsuit. There's no fitness. They don't care what age you are. You don't have to put that down unless you say it in your intro. They have no idea how old you are. They don't care. And that's what I love so much. It's about diversity. If you have a learning disability, if you have a disability, if you feel like you're not a size 0, they don't care. It's not judged on your body. It's judged on who you are as a person. And that's what I love so much about this system too, that there is not that pressure on having to be in a swimsuit or having to be in a fitness outfit.
That's awesome. That right there is, because you know how there was that person talking about like, oh, you're too old to be competing, and you're right. There are so many Mrs. Division pageants right now, and to hear about the different ones and hearing that they don't care what size you are, how old you are, what part of life you're in, that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I also wanted to jump on Thomas. I think he's from Scott Dion Brown's channel. He says hi. So hello, Thomas. He says he's eating popcorn.
Oh,
yum.
Jealous.
Lots of popcorn, yes.
If there are other people who are tuned in and have questions for Brandi Jo, by all means, leave them in the live chats. Our hour is flying by, but there is still time to ask her questions. So by all means, leave them in the live chats, and we are more than happy to ask her them.
I was going to ask you, you mentioned state pageants and appointed titles. For those people who may not know what the difference is, can you maybe explain what that is and how they can get involved?
Yeah. So my state did not have a state pageant, and so I had to sign up as appointed. So and then you can go on the website. If you go on our website and click down to events and you click on events, it will tell you what state titles are taken. And then that way you can know what state is open. But so in order to get an appointed state title, if there is not a live pageant, of course, our live pageants are over. We ended that in February. We will have a ton of state pageants next year too. But if you see that your state is open, and if you live in the state, that's what I love about Christine and Holly. They're very strict about this rule. And I love that. You have to either live in the state, have residency, or go to school there. And if not, then you can come and do the national side. So there's 3 different queens from the national side, and you can go kind of at large. Let's just say Tennessee is taken for the Miss title, which it is. And another lady from Tennessee wants to compete. Well, she can. She's going to have to be like Miss Volunteer state and go to do the national side. So they only allow one person from each state to compete at international level. And I love that. It makes it more fair, and it just lets you get out there in your state and represent and not have all these different, things happening in your state. But that's really it. And if you have any questions, if you need to know if your state's open, our country, we're wanting to branch out more internationally. UK, Canada, Australia, Mexico, we're open to any country out there. So just reach out to me and I can let you know, and I can put you in contact with the directors.
So that just takes us to the next question. Where can people find you online if they want to get in touch?
Yeah, I'm everywhere online. So I have Instagram, it's Brandi Jo Middleton. My title page is International United Miss. Facebook is Brandi Jo Middleton. Also, I have my title page over there, International United Miss. I have a YouTube channel called Crowning Confidence by Brandi Jo. I have a TikTok name. It says @QueenBrandiJo. Email is mbrandijo@outlook.com. And so feel free to always reach out to me. I run my business online, so I'm always online. So just let me know if I can help you in any way.
Perfect. So I will put all those links in the description after today's episode. So make sure you follow her journey. If you're looking for a pageant coach, there she is. Brandi Jo, you also mentioned at the top that you had taken a break from pageantry. What brought you back on stage?
So I think I mentioned I grew up, competing in pageants and competitive dance, and I developed anorexia when I was 13. It wasn't from pageants. It was my relationship with my mother, and the feeling of not good enough at school. I wasn't popular. I was very shy. Believe it or not, I was very shy. We didn't have social media back when I was growing up, so people didn't know I was in pageants. There was two different sides of me. I had stage Brandi and not everyday Brandi. And I didn't get the help I needed. It turned into bulimia in high school and college, and then it turned into binge eating. And so after I had my son, my whole identity was wrapped around my job. And so when I had that, when I quit my job, it was hard. And I had postpartum depression. It's severely bad. And that first year was difficult. And I gained 100 pounds. And here I am, a former beauty queen, and I hid behind my computer because I didn't want people to see me, because I wanted to get judged. I wasn't ready. I didn't want that judgment on me. And it was really hard. And I had a lot of health issues and some heart issues, and I had to make a tough decision. I had to do something about my body, and I fought really hard. And people started seeing me transform. When I went through, I finally went to therapy in my 30s for my binge eating, and my therapist said, "I need you to go and do a Facebook Live and tell the world that you're a binge eater." And I'm like, "Oh no, ma'am, I'm not doing that." She's like, "No, I need you to do that. I need you to put it out there." And I did. And when I did, there were so many people that reached out to me and were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going through the same thing. Thank you for being vulnerable." And I had several pageant directors reach out to me and say, "Oh my gosh, I've never seen anybody transform the way that you've transformed yourself. And you're now teaching other women to do it. Why don't you get back into pageants?" And so that's how my platform started. My platform started outside of pageantry. And I'm like, I guess, I've never thought about it. And I said, I don't know. And they're like, "You need to." And so it was for people encouraging me to get back into it. And I got back into it in 2017.
Amazing. I think kudos to you for, one, opening up and telling us your story, and sharing that with the world. I mean, eating disorders, it kind of goes hand in hand with pageantry in a way, but it's something that we all don't talk about.
Right.
I know that is something that I've also gone through and I talk about as well. So it's great to hear that is your platform. And I don't think I could have gone on Facebook Live. So you doing that and being so vulnerable. Yeah, I can't imagine. But just think of all the lives that you changed just with that one live.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
Thank you. And yes, it's hard, being a woman in general, it's hard, but, and just having the pressure of, sometimes when you're in a swimsuit or fitness competition in pageantry, and just knowing, just embrace who you are in your body, and your body's going to go through changes. I'm in now menopause at my age. And so I'm having to embrace those changes. But I think if we just talk about it more, we all have insecurities. We all can come together and talk about it. And judges, honestly, because I've judged so much this past year, I don't look at that. I look at somebody's light inside of them and their confidence and what they can bring to the title. And I look at all of that instead of if somebody's a size 0 or a size 30. I don't look at that.
Yeah.
And I think most good judges don't look at that either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think everything's moving in the right direction in terms of that, and people are learning and embracing themselves and also others. And it's like people like you who are sharing their story that helps move that forward. So I really appreciate you saying all that, especially online. It's a little bit scary, but yeah, thank you. Do we have any questions on YouTube, Regine?
No, we do not, but I have some questions and I'm very curious. So, Brandi, you are a pageant coach. How did you go from beauty queen to now pageant coach?
So I really don't coach a lot this year just because of my title. But in the past, I grew up, I coached in the glitz world. So all the fun little routines, outfit of choices, all that's what I love to do because of my dance background. I do work for Pageant Planet, so I am a mock interview coach, and I spent 5 years mastering interview, and I feel like I'm proud to say I feel like I've got a college degree in it now. So that's what I love to help people with is interview, not just for pageants, but job interviews, for DECA, for communication skills and how to communicate. I do plan on getting back into that more after I give up my title, because I can focus more on that. But how I didn't set out to become a pageant coach. Actually, when I got back into the glitz world competing, when I got back in my 30s, I jumped back into the glitz world because I didn't know like you could do all the scholarship types at my age. So I was doing the glitz pageants, and every time I did a pageant, the moms were like, "Oh my God, can you teach my kid how to model like that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I've never thought about that." I'm like, "I don't know if I want to give out my little secrets away, And it wasn't Lauren Stubbs. So when I was on Toddlers and Tiaras, I took her underneath my wing and I started coaching her. And then when I got pregnant, that's when it went full force. And then it just kind of blossomed. It was like, whoa, I was traveling, coaching all these little glitz girls. And now, I have helped some girls like in the USA system or the Miss America system with their communication skills and just little tidbits. And I've helped mentor a couple other reigning queens in different systems on how to reign this year. Like, what do they need to be doing in order to show up at their best, to be the best representative of them? But that's really it. But I would love to get back into it after I give up my title and really do more hair and makeup too. I really want to do pageant hair. I love that. I love the whole transformation, the glam of it all.
Oh my goodness. Yes. We all become different women when we're all glammed up. And so what is the difference between, for those who are new to pageantry, what is the difference between glitz pageants and say IUM?
So glitz pageants is there's different levels of glitz. So glitz pageants are what you see on Toddlers and Tiaras, where they start from babies all the way up to married women pageants for the glitz world. But that's when you're doing, even for little girls, full hair pieces, full face makeup, self-tan. The routines are off the charts. Like I'm talking about full on, you have to have makeup, custom outfits, music, custom outfits, the whole routine with it. It's very, very over the top modeling, like the cutesy little paint like all this stuff. Like that's what the little girls do. Those are glitz pageants and they're fun. Yes, you can win a lot of money. There's different levels because the girls are so good. They had to come in with levels like level 1, level 2, level 3 Grand Supreme. Like there's all different levels to it. And then there's the semi-glitz. So semi-glitz is where they still get to wear the cute, we call them cupcake, the little bling bling cupcake dresses. And they do some of that modeling, but it's not as extreme. And then there's the scholarship type pageants, kind of like International United Miss, where what I love about this system is under a certain age, they're not allowed to wear makeup, even during the reign. And I love that. And I love glitz too. But as when I was coaching so much in it, it was hard to see little ones, like 2-3-year-olds that really just like were fighting getting their hair and makeup done and didn't want to really practice. And like, you got to practice really hard in the glitz world. With this, they want kids to look like kids. And I love that. And the scholarship pageants are like that. It's none of this crazy modeling. You're elegant, you're graceful. The title means a lot. Like you represent it. You don't just win a crown and banner and put it on a shelf and go into the next pageant. Like you represent. And that's what I love about IUM and those types of scholarship pageants. They do go on and they teach you so many valuable life skills. Because like I said, in the glitz world, interview is a little bit different. It's just you walk in and you're like, hi. They're basically judging you on your facial beauty. They're judging you on your interview skills.
Thank you for clarifying.
That's very interesting. I feel like we haven't ever had someone who's been in both worlds. So it's good to kind of cover that. It's exciting.
I've mastered both worlds now. It's really cool. That was my goal. I was like, if I'm going to get back into this and I do the scholarship test, I want to master that. And because I've already mastered the glitz, I want to master the scholarship. And I set out to do that for myself, to prove to myself I could.
And you did.
And so super interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's super interesting to hear about the glitz world as Canadians, because it's really not a big industry here at all. We have almost...
in the South.
Yeah, so it's really cool to hear. I mean, that's all I was going to say. Go ahead, Virginia.
No worries. So, Brandi Jo, your reign is coming to an end in 3 months. What is next for you after this title?
Well, I'm still going to be competing. I'm going to be competing all the way up until I'm 90 years old. And I'm still going to be part of IUM. Can't say too much right now, but you won't see the last of me at IUM for sure. But I do plan on competing in just a lot of fun pageants. There is a state pageant that I want to do in Mississippi that I'm planning on doing in November. I'm looking forward to that. But it is scary to think I'm going to get back out there, put myself out there again and compete. And that's a little scary. And how do you transition from going from such an amazing year to putting yourself back out there to be judged again? And what people could say is, because I mean, it's just, this could have turned out so different. It's a different day, different set of judges, and that's the way I look at it. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, but I love pageantry. I don't see myself ever getting out of pageantry. I have all the clothes, and I just, now going into it, the pressure is not going to be on me. I'm not going to put that, because I've won the title that I wanted to. And I'm so grateful for this. And this crown means so much to me. And this crown will represent so much to me the rest of my life. And so now I get to go into it with a different approach and having fun and making friends and just enjoying being an adult and getting dressed up. And if God allows me to have another title, then I will give my heart and soul to that organization too. But I'm just so thankful for IUM and for us to, once you're a queen with them, you're always a queen with them. And I'll get to come back year after year and help behind the scenes and at stage and mentor the girls coming into the organization. And I'm just so thankful for that and that opportunity that they've given me this year.
That's amazing. So that just means Liz and I will meet you in person one day.
You will meet me. Whatever year you're coming, you'll be there. I will, let me add, I did not get to add this about international. What really sold it for me, and it was, I came to the pageant myself. In the glitz world, you're backstage with, all the girls lined up, and sometimes the moms are back there, sometimes they're not. Here, you're back there by yourself at International United Miss, but there's staff. And this staff was the most loving people I've ever met in my entire life. They literally check every girl. And when I tell you they check, they make sure every hair is in place. Your dress is perfect. Your lipstick. They make sure you are spot on. Even when you walk up on stage, they lift your train. The moment that I won, my mouth was I was still in shock. They brought me water. They took off my state banner. They fluffed me. They fixed me. They fixed my makeup. I have never had anybody do that for me before. And I know that they did that for everybody. And that just speaks volumes about the staff. And most of the staff is former queens and alumni that knows what it feels like. And that's what I love so much. Holly and Christiane knows what it feels like on every little detail does not go unnoticed. And every little detail at International that week was amazing. And just how they treat us this year. And so I want to be able to do that in return. So I'm looking so much forward. And that's what I've been able to do this year at state. When I'm at the state pageants, I make sure that the girls know that they're beautiful and they're fixed and they look good. But I can't wait to go back, this year and give up my title and be able to do that for other girls and other women and just pep them up and lift them up before they walk on stage, because that means so much to people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, that is, it's so amazing hearing you as a title holder speak so highly of your title and the pageant system, because that proves to all of us that IUM is what they stand for and what Liz has been telling all of Canada about. So I think that is amazing.
Yes.
But before we wrap things up, Brandi Jo, is there any last message that you'd like to share with our viewers?
If you get hate out there, if you put yourself out there in a pageant, just know that somebody might say something negative. I mean, my mother put me in pageants. She never did force me. But every day I have to hear from her that she doesn't like what I do. She thinks I'm too old. So I get that negativity every day from her. My biggest point to you is no matter what somebody says to you, if it's a family member, if it's online, listen to your heart. If this is what you love, there is no age limit. I have friends who compete in Mrs. Senior World, and that is for ages 50, 60, 70, 80. There is no age limit in pageantry. And there is more and more married women in Miss pageants out there that you can ever imagine now. Don't let that stop you. Don't let anybody say that you are too old, that you can't do this, that your story doesn't matter, that you don't matter. You do matter. And the more that you put yourself out there, it's going to give another lady, another girl an opportunity to be brave enough to do that for herself. And just rise above the hate, because I feel like I made it. If I finally got hate, I'm like, well, I guess I made it now because I have haters, and I'm just gonna be like Taylor Swift and shake it off. And you just got to shake it off. And yes, it's wonderful to win a crown and banner, but I have seen so many state title holders, so many girls who don't even get in the top 10 do amazing stuff in their community. So we are making a huge ripple effect out there in pageantry, and so just keep on. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it.
Awesome. And on that note, one last time, Brandi Jo, where can people find you online?
So you can find me on Instagram. It's Brandi, Brandi Jo Middleton. On Instagram, on Facebook, my title pages are in International United Miss, MS. On Instagram, on Facebook. I also have a YouTube channel called Crowning Confidence by Brandi Jo. You can reach out to me at my email, mbrandijo@outlook.com as well.
Amazing. And Liz, where can people find you online?
For all things pageant related, you can follow me on Instagram at Elizabeth Marlock Pageantry. And then also, if you're interested in pageant hair and makeup artistry, you can follow me on Elizabeth Marlock Artistry as well.
Perfect. And you all can follow me on my social media on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at It's Regina Lena, and on Instagram and Facebook as Mrs. Galaxy Southern Canada 2022. Brandi, it has been amazing getting to sit down and chat with you. Sorry, Brandi Jo. I am not a Southern girl, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for joining us in this conversation, being vulnerable and opening your heart up to us this evening.
Oh, thank you so much for the honor, and I just think y'all both are so beautiful, and I wish you both the best of luck. I want to see you both next year at International United Miss, but I wish you both the best of luck in your hair and makeup business.
Thank
and
you.
Then in your pageant coming up too, okay?
Thank you. This has been amazing. To everyone who is tuned in, I know there are a few of you here from Scott Dion Brown's channel. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you enjoy all things pageantry. Go follow Liz and Brandi Jo, and we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.